Last legendary bird, y'all. Moltres. Here we go. So, welcome if you're new. Hi. Uh, Not sure exactly where to start. Nothing here also jumps out as odd. So, if you watch the other two, there'll be a little bit of stuff you've heard already. But Garden Gale, this is kind of loud. Never heard this game before. I just played it because I don't know. I just felt like it. Um, it's kind of distracting, but it's pretty good. What was I saying? Lumina. Yeah. So two new abilities. One of them is shared by all three legendary birds, and that is Guard and Gale, and that is essentially Delta Stream. So what that does is it removes your flying type weaknesses as long as you're on the field. So yeah. Um, Let me actually. I kind of want to put Stormy Seas there too because I wrote that before Stormy Seas was an ability that Pokemon that were viable were gonna get because Drizzle's better under almost every situation, besides under the one Pokemon I know that's gonna have it that will be usable. Delmise is gonna be sick. But anyways, sorry. Um, yeah. So, Luminescence here. Just actually, I can cover both of the Moltres' new abilities right here. So, Garden Gale, logically, I mean, they're the legendary birds. It makes total sense. What that does is it removes Moltres' flying type weaknesses. This works amazingly with Burn Up, but I'll cover that more in depth in a little bit. But I just wanted to say it now. But if you're like, if you only tune in for the first few minutes, Burn Up is fucking sick on Moltres with Garden Gale. But yeah, so what Garden Gale does is Moltres. I mean, Fire Flying is actually very good defensively, outside of like competitive Stealth Rocks and stuff, which are not super relevant in this. So Moltres has lost physical HP and physical defense. However, it has gained a giant boost to special defense, given the fact that it's this beautiful legendary flaming Pokemon. Um, and it's also a bit much faster, and that's it really. I mean, it's just faster and has better special defense, and then it is slightly less bulky in exchange on the physical side and HP wise, which is a very fair trade. So what was I doing? I ignore that. I don't know. Long story. um, because somebody said something about like the legendary birds having a pre-evolution. I was like, oh, it'd be cool if they had the Spanish word for zero. And I was like 89% sure it was Cero, but I just wanted to make sure. Anyway, back on topic. Guardian Gale's great. So with Guardian Gale, you resist naturally. Fire flying already resist fire, grass, fighting, steel, fairy, and fire, fighting, steel, and fairy, and then at 4 times resist grass and bug, which are really useful 4 times resist, especially with like tinted lens, for example. Like a tinted lens bug type is still gonna be doing half damage to you, which is, trust me, there are a lot of powerful ass tinted lens bug types. So it'll be nice to be able to resist those. That's very valuable. Any Pokemon that 4 times resist bug is great, because of that. Just to resist the tinted lens hits 2 times. Anyways, back on topic. I guess that was an off topic, but I want to really hone in. You're immune to ground, obviously, and then you only have 3 weaknesses: a water and electric 2 times weakness, and then a 4 times weakness to rock. So with Garden Gale, you are only weak 2 times to water and rock, and that's it. You become neutral to electric, and rock is, instead of a 4 times weakness, it's a 2 times weakness. So that is excellent. That is truly excellent. Competition wise, I didn't get to cover competition for these two because the ice flying types and the electric flying types haven't been put on the sheet yet, but there will. I mean, I have it all planned out. I literally went through every mon and went through their abilities and all that stuff, and I know what they're gonna have, and I know how they're not gonna outclass one another. But with Moltres, there are actually there's a very relevant fire flying type already, and that is Charizard. So Charizard is base Charizard is slower, technically weaker, although Ruthless makes it stronger, and Moxie makes it, and physically it's stronger, and it's less bulky. So it's less bulky, less fast, but it has really, really good abilities and a much different move pool with drastically more coverage as a whole. And then obviously you have the two Megas, with both of them. Well, actually, Mega Charizard X is slower than Moltres, and Mega Charizard X doesn't have competition with Moltres, so we're not going to talk about it. Mega Charizard Y is stronger. Obviously, it's a mega. It's actually still not as physically bulky though, and then especially it's not as bulky. So Mega Charizard Y is still not as bulky as Moltres is, and otherwise it's stronger and faster, and obviously the abilities are great and blah blah blah. But that's a mega, and even then, Moltres still has niche over them because not even niche. I mean, Moltres has a rule over them because Moltres has Guardian Gale and Moltres has Luminescent, and Charizard doesn't have either of those abilities. So, and they also get some unique move pool things that Charizard does not have. So, yeah, let's type in Moltres and go back to them. So back to what I was saying with Moltres. So Guardian Gale's great, and then Luminescent is your other ability. Logic being they are literally made of fire, There are things talking about like the sky turning red and this dazzling flare of wings, and same logic for why Chandelure would have luminescent. It makes total sense on Moltres, given that they are a bird. It's essentially a phoenix in a way, although not a phoenix in the sense that they're like revival and whatever the fuck magic. But anyways, yeah, luminescent is great. Guardian Gale is great. Swap between the two abilities as you need them, because there will be a lot of battles where Guardian Gale isn't really relevant because it basically just removes your electric and 4 times rock weakness. It becomes a 2 times, but it's not like that's not going to come into play every single battle. And then you have luminescent, which is great because what that does is that gives you a 10% accuracy boost overall. So I will now cover all of the luminescent moves that work with that. And you can also stack wide lens on top of that. So if you stack wide lens and luminescent, wide lens is now a 15% boost, right? So wide lens is 10%. Sorry, wide lens is 50%, and then luminescent is 10%. So you get a 1.265 boost to your accuracy with the combination of those two moves. So for example, an 80% accurate move, such as Fire Vortex. Sorry, I typed that in wrong. Oh my god, 1.265. There we go. Yeah, that becomes 100% accurate. So that is immense. Immense how powerful that is. As does 85% accurate moves and above, obviously. So 85% accurate moves will obviously become 100% accurate as well. Not super relevant here, but yeah. Inferno with wide lens and luminescent becomes 89% accurate almost. That rounds up, I believe. So 89% accurate Inferno, which is that's insane, dude. That is 130 base power and it always burns, and that's 88% accurate with wide lens and luminescent. So luminescent is a great ability on Moltres. I will now cover literally all of the options it has. So 10% accuracy boost. So first I'm going to cover all the moves that don't miss with luminescent. So there might not be any actually. Searing Shot doesn't miss with luminescent. It has 5% chance to miss normally. So Searing Shot, that might be it. Yeah, I think that's it. But then there's a lot of 10% accurate moves, or sorry, 10% inaccurate moves rather. You know what I mean. And those are. Sorry, I have to find them again. None but level up. Okay, sorry, there is some by level up. So by level up, you have obviously your special attack stat is much higher, but your attack stat is still very good. So mixed sets are viable and physical sets are viable if you get a plus attack nature Moltres or really good attack IVs and shitty. Like let's say you've got 0 attack IVs and 131 attack. You know what I'm trying to say, all right? Point being, also with the infinite ability capsules and infinite EV training items and all that stuff, you can just tailor your sets for each battle. So say this boss battle's coming up and they have a bunch of physically frail Pokemon as opposed to specially frail, or the specific Pokemon that you need your Moltres to fight. Like that's the beauty of why mixed attackers are so much better now in this deck, is because of all of the customizability of it. So despite having one offense that's higher than the other one, if your other offense is still good and strong, you can still use it. So say you're fighting a mon with you need your Moltres to fight to do a specific purpose that battle. You can just run physical or special based on that, or you can run defensive because defensive Moltres is great. Now I know it was already good before and competitive, but the bulk is overall better despite the fact that it lost HP in defense. It still has really good special defense now, better special defense than before. So yeah. Back to luminescent. So luminescent works with Searing Shot, becomes 100% accurate, and your 90% accurate moves become 99% accurate. So I'll go through level up and then TM for all of their inaccurate moves now. So 90% accurate, 85% accurate, and 80% accurate moves. There's only one 80% and below accurate move, but yeah. In descending order, you have, excuse me, Dive Bomb. So Dive Bomb is flying type high jump kick. So that becomes 99% accurate. So there's a 1% chance you crash and kill yourself. Or half kill yourself, which is, I hate that. I wish I could make this 15%, but I can't. It's hard coded. But it is what it is. It's essentially 100% accurate. I mean, 1% at a time is nothing really to be concerned about. It's just annoying. So that's there for Dive Bomb. And then you have Fire Blast becomes 99% accurate. That's 120 base power, and that's already 90% accurate. So that's now 199% accurate with Luminescent. Flash Cannon becomes 99% accurate with Luminescent, as does one more I know I saw. Will-O-Wisp, yes, Will-O-Wisp becomes 99% accurate. So that's all great stuff to have. And then 85% accurate moves you have are Hurricane and Focus Blast. So both of those 85 times. So let's say you're not running Wide Lens, because with Wide Lens you're never missing with Luminescent and 85% accuracy. But let's say you're not running a Wide Lens. Let's say you're running some other item. you become 94% accurate. So your focus blasts and your hurricanes are 94% accurate, which is really, really strong. As well as your that's it by level up actually. That's 85. And then you have I already said that bomb. Inferno and Fire Vortex. I talked about Fire Vortex earlier. What that is that's 130 base power, and that traps the opponent for 12 turns, and that deals 12% of their HP for 12 turns. So that is immense. I mean, that is so much free damage over the course of time. So you can win a bulky set with like Luminescent and Fire Vortex and Roost, and just click it and then watch them slowly die if you want, or just get the chip or whatever the hell it is. Although the trapping effect will go away if you switch out. So yeah, still great to have though. Really, really powerful, and it's also just strong as hell. I mean, it's stronger than Fire Blast. And there's no drawbacks besides the accuracy, and the accuracy is patched up. So again, with Wide Lens, it's 100% accurate. Without Wide Lens, it is 88% accurate with Luminescent. So Luminescent has 80% accurate Fire Vortex. Inferno becomes 77% accurate without Wide Lens. With Wide Lens, it becomes 88% accurate, and that's 130 base power and always burns, which is immense. And then you have Burn Up. So Burn Up is awesome. It's not inaccurate, it's 100% accurate, but Burn Up goes great with Guardian Gale because Burn Up removes your fire typing. So what you can essentially do is click Burn Up. So let's say there's a specific boss fight and you don't need your fire typing on your Moltres. You don't need it. You only need Flying Stab, besides the initial Burn Up, of course. So what you'll do is you'll click Burn Up. It's a 140 base power move. It has 100% accuracy. It'll always burn, which is extremely good. I mean, that you can even if the mon that you're using it on resist it, it's still useful for the burn effect, You can then bait a super effective like water move, for example, that won't be super effective anymore after burn up if you're faster than whatever you're clicking it on. And that's great. And then you lose your fire typing until you switch out. You can't use burn up again until you switch out, but that's totally fair. I mean, it's so powerful and so strong that is a fair trade-off. And the beautiful thing is with Guardian Gale, you will essentially have no weaknesses. And I am of the opinion that this whole no weaknesses thing is really overrated. But I'll get more into that when I go to other Pokemon changes. But it doesn't change the fact that it's still nice to have no weaknesses. Like, yeah, weaknesses are a big deal. But I feel like a lot of people have this mentality where it's like it's all they focus on. Like they'll be like, "Oh my god, Electros, so no weaknesses." Like when the game first came out in Gen 5, and then you realize that it has 80, 80, 80 or 85, 80, 80 stats, and it's like, okay, this mon has also almost no defensive utility, despite having no weaknesses. It has very few resistances and only one immunity to ground, which is good to have, obviously, but it's just not. I mean, there's a reason Electros was in like PU. I mean, it's a cool fucking. I love Electros, and some of my top 10, top 20 favorite mons. I love it to death. But it's pretty mid in vanilla games. It's going to be great when we get to it. I'm excited as fuck for that change. It's really cool, guys. It's also going to be probably unexpected as hell. So stay tuned for that one. That'll be a long ways away, but we'll get there eventually, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for all of Gen 5. I'm excited for everything, man. I'm so hyped to get to every mon. It's so fun doing this, guys. It really is awesome, and I'm really happy that you guys are here listening and caring about this extremely self-indulgent and hyper-specific deep dive into meticulous changes and meticulous shit. It's really cool and I love it, and I'm happy that people are also loving it as much as I do. That being said, Guardian Gale Burn Up is a good combo. All right, that's what I was trying to get at. So you get no weaknesses. You can use that with Roost. It's just really, really nice to have. You're essentially become typeless in a way. Typeless, but you have super effective. Sorry, you have stab on flying, and you're immune to ground. Other than that, you're typeless though, which is nice to have, and you still have flying type resistances as well. So you resist bug and fighting and all this other stuff. But yeah, that's about it in terms of the abilities usage. They're great. You can swap between them when you need. You also have dual stab priority. You have Swords Dance and Nasty Blot and Calm Mind. Calm Mind being great on like again the bulky Guardian Gale sets or the Luminescent set. That's the great thing is that you can like having these two abilities as options is like so nice to just be able to switch between them. It's such a luxury, truly. And then you have lots of powerful stab moves. Physically, despite having lower physical attack, you do have really good physical moves like Raging Fury, which will give you +1 attack, as well as Fire Lash, which will give -1 defense and is 85 base power. Raging Fury is 50 base power, but it becomes 100 base power if you move second, and you still get the +1 attack, so that's great. You also have a lot of really interesting physical coverage, although I would say overall your special coverage is slightly better. So I will cover all of that right now too, because I pretty much covered all of the strong moves. I mean, there's like there's Aeroblast and Heat Wave, which are 65 base power and they always crit. So that's really cool to have. You can use those in conjunction with like Blast Burn. Blast Burn will give you. This also goes for Zapdos, by the way, with Zap Cannon. So what that does is it gives you -2 special attack, 150 base power, which is already great because the second hit is not that weak. It's at 75 base power on the second hit. But what you can do is use Blast Burn, and then you can click Aero Blast and Heat Wave afterwards and ignore the special attack drop. So you get a 1-time or even 2-time nuke. Although I don't know why you would click Blast Burn twice instead of just clicking Heat Wave. Maybe to save PP because they all have only 5 PP. I'm not sure, but point being, that's really nice to have. Pretty much all special fire types can do that, which is awesome. Sun sets are still good because you have Solar Blade and Solar Beam. So coverage-wise, you have Ancient Power, Knock Off, Signal Beam, Ominous Wind, U-Turn, Poison Jab, Scorching Sands, Dark Pulse, Dazzling Gleam, First Impression Lunge, Slash Cannon, Shadow Ball, Solar Beam, Solar Blade, Takedown, Hell Thrust, all kinds of great, Focus Blast, all kinds of great coverage. You got all you need, really. Not like insane coverage, but they've got enough to hit what you need. You also have Nature Power, which can work nicely under terrain. So under an electric terrain team, you get Thunderbolt. Under a psychic terrain team, and also that's also boosted, so you essentially get a stab boost as well. And grassy terrain and electric terrain are both TMs, so you can use and also tons more Pokemon have the Surge ability. So this goes for all Pokemon that get Nature Power. Nature Power is great, man. Nature Power is really powerful now because of the customizability, because of the fact that the terrains are TMs, because of the fact that there's so many more Surge abilities, because of the fact that it's a 50% boost in this gen. It's really nice to have, and you can give crazy coverage to your Pokemon if you already happen to have terrain abusing Pokemon on your team, like Volt Rush, Grassy Guard, Grassy Surge, Electric Surge, etc. And then of course the other terrains also have that. They just don't have abilities besides the ones that summon the terrain. Nothing else is affected besides like Psychic Seed and Misty Seed and stuff. But yeah, you can use that under terrain and get Thunderbolt, Psychic, Moonblast coverage, although you already have Fairy coverage with Dazzling Gleam. So mostly just for the grass coverage and the electric coverage, and the psychic coverage is nice. Natural Gift becomes literally any type in the game. The downside being it's 1-time use only, but that's great for specific situations, obviously. I mean, you can literally just get any type in the game, 110 base power, special move. I think it's about it. Not too much else to cover. Sky Attack and Razor Wind are both very powerful. They work with Power Herb. They are essentially 120 times 1.5 is 180. So they're essentially like Z moves that also have a 30% chance to flinch and don't take up your Z move slot, and can be used afterwards, technically, if you don't mind waiting 2 turns. And the most important part is that they bypass stat drops. So for example, you can run Blast Burn and then click Power Herb, Razor Wind, for example. That's a very viable option over Aero Blast, which is more reliable but less powerful, although Aero Blast is still great. So yeah, I think that's about it. Not too much else to cover. Moltres is great. All 3 of these guys are all very equal and strong and great and viable, and I love them, and I love all of these Pokemon. I am excited to keep going. We are almost done with Kanto. I might even finish today, honestly, because I actually had a lazy day today. I had an off day, so I think it'll be really fun to get into the last 2 Mons of Kanto. So thanks for listening, and hope you guys enjoyed this one too.